How that works coming up. Plus, with the government shutdown causing travel delays across the country, we're taking a look at what's going on at Orlando International Airport. You're watching News 6 at 4 as we take a live look at our camera in Daytona Beach. It's getting busy out there tonight. We'll be right back.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
We want to take a live look now at Orlando International Airport from our Light Orlando delivering Hope Cam. Delays are hitting airports across the country with lawmakers at a stalemate on the government shutdown. Now, air traffic controllers, TSA officers, and others are being required to work right now without pay.
And as News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez discovered, travelers are bracing for the worst as the shutdown drags on with no end in sight.
While it's a busy scene at Orlando International Airport, travelers seem to be having a normal experience. With the government shutdown, were you anticipating any delays flying out of Orlando?
We were expecting a lot, but there wasn't really much to deal with.
It was a smooth process. There weren't any delays.
Past shutdowns have resulted in a spike in TSA officers and air traffic controllers calling out sick from work, contributing to delays and flight cancellations. I spoke with airport officials who tell me that things here are running as normal despite the government shutdown. Still, travelers tell me that they took extra precautions before coming to Orlando International.
We got here about another 2 hours earlier than we were supposed to.
In a statement to guests, the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority says it doesn't anticipate operations at MCO will be affected by the shutdown, and that it has contingency plans in place if there is a, quote, dramatic decrease in the number of TSA agents processing passengers. Meanwhile, air traffic controllers in other airports handed out flyers this week, warning people that the shutdown is putting pressure on staffing and safety. Controllers are federal employees and legally barred from walking off the job, but they can call in sick, causing backed up runways or rescheduled flights, a reality many have prepared for.
With the government shutdown, I anticipated maybe even the flight not happening or being delayed.
Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Now, last Friday, the tower that guides planes toward MCO was short-staffed for several hours. The airport does have an app that shows flight delays and security wait times. Travelers are encouraged to use it and arrive early to avoid any issues.
Meantime, it is setting up to be a very busy travel season. We'll tell you what to expect for the holidays coming up in the next half hour.
We're already talking about the holidays.
Got to.
Yeah, it is October, by the way. All right, meteorologist Michelle Morgan is in for Jonathan Kagas tonight. Michelle, we've got a good-looking weekend on tap.
We do have a good-looking weekend on tap for everything that's happening across Central Florida. The temperatures are going to be nice and comfortable, and many of us will be rain-free. So here's what you need to know, not only for the rest of your Friday, but heading into the weekend and next week. So 60s in the morning, may need a light jacket, and then we're in the 80s during the afternoon hours. I am expecting two cold fronts. The first one arrives Sunday night into Monday. Will it necessarily bring cooler weather? Not really, a few showers possible, but things will remain pretty consistent as we head into the work week. And then another front heading our way Wednesday into Thursday. That one may be a little bit stronger, bringing down the humidity. And then the tropics continuing to watch two waves. Now taking a live look outside in Daytona Beach, things are busy. The Biketoberfest is in session, and you could see people are out and about. The weather is fantastic. Will stay fantastic through this evening, heading into the weekend. So temperatures steady in the 70s. It will also remain breezy along our coastline. So just keep that in mind if you are planning a beach day. And talking about the winds and the wind gusts, you have your winds in white and also the wind gusts indicated in the red color here. Getting gusts up to 21 miles per hour in Orlando, 22 in Sanford, and then along our coastline getting gusts between 15 to 20 miles per hour. Taking a look at your evening forecast here, we're still in the 80s around the next hour, breezy. Later on this evening around 7, pleasant, 77 degrees if you have any Friday night plans. And then around 9, we drop into the lower 70s with a few clouds around. Wake up temperatures tomorrow looking great. We're going to be much cooler out in Marion County, starting off at 57, 60 in Wildwood as well as the Villages, 62 in Lakeland, 65 in Wedgefield, Titusville, and New Smyrna Beach, and 62 in Palm Coast. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
It's going to be a pleasant start. Temperatures warming up nicely into the lower 80s, mainly dry conditions and abundant sunshine to go around. Your forecast highs, 79 in Palm Coast, 81 in DeLand, Orlando, 83 in the Villages, heading out to Brevard County, 81 in Cocoa Beach, Melbourne, as well as Mico. So as we take a look at the setup here, the clouds and rain forecast showing an area of high pressure continuing to move to the east here. There's that first cold front I was talking about. As it gets closer and closer to our region, our winds are going to kick up. A few isolated showers are possible Sunday night into Monday morning, and it will be breezy. Area of high pressure then begins to develop again over the southeast, and that's going to keep things breezy at least through the first half of the work week next week. Now taking a look at the tropics, I am looking at two spots here. The first one out in the northern Atlantic has a very low chance, a 0% chance. It's a non-tropical low for any tropical development, but this is the area that we're watching very closely. A tropical wave looks healthy on satellite, but it does have a 30% chance for tropical development in the next several days in this general area. We'll continue to watch it very closely, but we do have a lot of time to watch it as it goes towards the Caribbean there. So when we're talking about timeline, development is possible as we head into next week. And if it gets a name, the next names on the list are Melissa and Nestor. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 81 tomorrow, abundant sunshine. As we head into our Sunday, a little bit warmer ahead of that cold front with a high of 86, placing a 20% chance for a few isolated showers. Keeping those low rain chances heading into our Monday, and look at that cold front bringing our daytime highs to 81. We stay in the lower 80s Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the next cold front arrives Wednesday night into Thursday.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Weight loss surgeries are about to get safer, faster, and less invasive.
The Central Florida Hospital making history as the first in the nation to use magnet technology. A live look now at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
A Central Florida hospital is now the first in the country to use magnet technology for weight loss surgeries.
Yeah, this week, doctors demonstrated the cutting-edge system during the Surgical Innovation Summit. It's called Flexagon Self-Forming Magnets. The FDA approved it this summer. Doctors with Orlando Health say it will make weight loss surgery safer, faster, and less invasive. They shared this video explaining how it works.
So this technology is basically, we get two magnets and we put it together between the two parts of the body that we wanted to fuse to create a connection. And this is all done minimally invasive. Before, we were using sutures or using staples. So the problem was sometimes staples or sutures can become loose, or they can create ulcerations, or they can bleed too. So all of those things are going to be eradicated with the magnets.
Now, this technique could mean shorter surgeries, fewer complications, and faster recovery times. The dog, abandoned and tied up to a fence on the side of the road during Hurricane Milton, has gone through a lot over the past year.
Yeah, now we are learning what's next for the man accused of leaving him there. The new development that may surprise you. That's coming up next.
Florida's Surgeon General in town saying he wants to get rid of even more vaccine mandates. Details coming up.
Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now.
In Orlando, a Massey Services worker had to speed away with a shooting victim who jumped inside his truck. Now, this happened at the dockside of Ventura Condominiums at Woodgate Boulevard and Curry Ford Road. From the video, you can see bullet holes in one of the Massey trucks there. Massey tells us their technician is okay. Orlando police will not say if they have made an arrest, but they do say the victim has non-life-threatening injuries. The man accused of attacking a woman on a trail could end up back in jail. News 6 has discovered prosecutors are now attempting to revoke 23-year-old Jacoby Tillman's bond. The move by state attorneys could have the suspect back behind bars as early as next Tuesday. In Osceola County, troopers say they have found the driver and the car involved in a hit-and-run crash that killed a man in a wheelchair. FHP reports the man was crossing Orange Blossom Trail near Hilda Street this morning when he was hit by 3 cars. One of the cars drove away from the scene. Investigators sent us these pictures looking for the driver and the silver Lexus. They later told us they found a person of interest and they are speaking to them.
Dozens of people are now without a home after their apartment complex terminated their leases. This is happening at Altamont Terrace. Now, a month ago, we told you the complex was moving those tenants to a hotel to make repairs to buildings that had been declared unsafe. Now, management says they need to find another place to live immediately. News 6's Jarrell Baker spoke with the neighbors being forced out.
Stanley Lerner and his wife hoped their hardships were over after moving into Altamont Terrace using a homeless diversion grant. But last week, they received this letter saying that they need to be out by Friday.
Now, less than 6 months later, our lease is broke. We didn't do anything wrong. And we're right back in the same situation again. And frankly, we haven't had the turnaround in time to even get anything going yet.
It comes a month after News 6 first told you that the complex moved Lerner and other tenants temporarily to a hotel to make repairs to their 2 buildings after the city declared them unsafe, following an evaluation by an engineer hired by the owner that found several structural problems in the 50-year-old roof and more. The property now says that those repairs will take longer than expected. Monday, the landlord sent a letter to residents showing that, according to the lease that they signed and Florida law, the landlord can terminate the agreement if the apartment is uninhabitable and it's beyond the landlord's control, as long as they're making reasonable efforts to fix it.
The landlord's word is final. It's the landlord's election.
Landlord-tenant attorney Jess Clark, who's already spoken with several impacted residents and reviewed their leases, says it's a landlord-friendly agreement, one many tenants have no choice but to accept because they're receiving rental assistance grants.
And this is true of almost any rental agreement that I've ever seen. If you want to rent from this apartment complex, these are the terms. Take it or leave it.
According to the notice, upcoming rent has been waived and deposits will be refunded. But Lerner believes it's unfair. Lerner plans to start a GoFundMe to raise money to find legal representation for himself and others impacted. I went to the office on site to ask management why their tenants are being asked to leave and what damage are they repairing and have they started. The manager was not there. I also emailed those questions and more, but we have not heard back yet. In Seminole County, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
The Central Florida man accused of starting the deadly Palisades fire will soon be taken back to California to face charges. Jonathan Rinderknecht was arrested last week at his sister's home in Brevard County, where he had been living for the past 5 months. Investigators say they have evidence showing he ignited the fire earlier this year. 12 people died. This week, a federal grand jury indicted him and added 2 more felonies to his case. And new court documents were filed in federal court yesterday, ordering U.S. Marshals to transfer the 29-year-old to California. If convicted, Rinderknecht faces up to 45 years in prison.
We're learning prosecutors have dropped the charges against the man accused of leaving a dog tied to a fence near Tampa during Hurricane Milton. We've been following Trooper the Dog's journey closely here on News 6 at 4. You may remember this video last year showing the bull terrier tied up along I-75 during evacuations. Water was already rising pretty high at the time, too. A trooper was able to save him and get him to his patrol car. Now, in a statement, the Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office told us that they are unable to move forward with with the case against the man accused of leaving the dog. They said during the deposition and discovery process, they determined they did not have enough evidence to prove the man intentionally tied the dog to the fence in rising floodwaters. Troopers come a long way since we saw this video last year. He's gone through cancer, and vets found several pounds of trash in his stomach. We recently shared an update from his new family.
Alfred, I love you too. Alfred, hold on 1 second. He still has a little bit of PTSD, I would say. He reacts when he hears certain noises. He really reacts, jumps into the air. He's frightened by it.
Oh my goodness. Trooper also inspired Troopers Law, which now makes it a felony to abandon a pet during a declared natural disaster.
1 month after Florida's Surgeon General began the rollback of vaccine mandates, he took the stage today in Central Florida at the National Conference of Moms for Liberty. James Latipo delivered remarks as Florida is experiencing an 81% increase in whooping cough cases. News 6's Laverne McGee went to the conference to hear what the group thought about the state's efforts.
We'll always be able to find a way to navigate to where we need to be.
Speaking at the Moms for Liberty Summit in Osceola County, Florida's Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Latipo, praised the group for its work in backing his efforts to eliminate vaccine mandates.
He did a great job explaining his latest stance on stopping mandates for children and how nobody should have the power to force you to inject something into yourself or into your child. As the head of the Florida Department of Health, Dr. Latipo has already removed some mandates, while others will need action from the legislature, something he asked the group to help with.
So we're working on removing those, and we're going to need the cooperation of our lawmakers and to be able to do those. And, so we're working on that too.
With the surge in whooping cough cases in Florida and outbreak of measles in South Carolina, there is a concern among some about removing vaccine mandates. But parents like Sean Zerke from Brevard, who has a 5-year-old with a heart condition, want a choice.
I also have a master's in public health, so I am educated on vaccines. Not all parents are. And so having the position that Latipo has for our state about returning that medical decision making to the parents. If you want to get your child vaccinated, you still have that right. But the parents that don't, for whatever reason they choose, they should have that right too.
Helena Munoz has 2 kids and came here to learn more.
Because I've learned so much from this organization, I do know now that I have the right to ask the doctor to maybe space out things and not necessarily give them 4 or 5 at once. As of now, the state still requires vaccines for MMR, hepatitis, and chickenpox, as well as some others. But that could start to change when lawmakers return to Tallahassee next year. Your Osceola County Community Correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
Another critic of President Trump has been indicted by a grand jury. This time it's his former national security advisor, John Bolton. He pleaded not guilty in court today after being accused of mishandling classified materials. It comes 2 months after federal agents searched Bolton's home in Maryland and his office in Washington, D.C. The 18 felony counts accuse Bolton of sharing more than 1,000 pages of highly sensitive information about his day-to-day activities in the White House, including classified national defense information. Prosecutors say after Bolton left office, a cyber actor believed to be associated with Iran hacked his personal email.
Republican lawmakers are now revealing their plans for property taxes. It still has several hurdles to cross, but if it passes, it would have huge implications for homeowners in Florida. News 6 anchor Matt Austin joins us now live in the newsroom with what we need to know. Matt?
Yeah, there's a lot to this, Lisa. The Florida House has rolled out a series of proposed constitutional amendments to cut property taxes while also making sure funding stays in place for schools and law enforcement. So a total of 8 bills are set to be filed. The bill proposal is to eliminate most property taxes outright for people who have a homestead exemption. There are exceptions, though. The exception is money that goes to K through 12 school funding. The measures also ban local governments from cutting spending on law enforcement. These 2 areas are where most property taxes go. Voters would need to approve most of the bills in next November's election if they pass in the legislature. Now, I'm digging into this story right now to find out how these changes would impact more residential counties like Seminole County. I'll have that story for you coming up next week.
All right, Matt, thank you. And we've also posted a full breakdown of the proposals inside this story at clickorlando.com.
Well, it was a special welcome today at Gaylord Palms Resort. 40 master ice carvers made the 7,000-mile journey from China to begin their work transforming 2 million pounds of ice into magical holiday displays for the resort's annual ice attraction.
So let's just say this year's exhibit will leave you with a red nose. News 6 digital journalist Haley Coombs and photojournalist Charles Holmes were there for the welcome ceremony, and they give us a look at the artisans in action.
It is so nostalgic to have the classic Christmas movie, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We have 11 scenes from the iconic scenes from the movie, make them into ice form. We have Hermie, the elf that wants to be a dentist. We have Rudolph himself with Clarice. We have the Island of Misfit Toys. We have over 2 million pounds of ice, 9 degrees, so make sure you bundle up. They carve for 33 days straight. And it is really in their tradition and culture. Wish you well, have good luck. Our way of welcoming them to the States, specifically Kissimmee, Florida, and wish them luck on their adventure. They've already done so much work in the past 6 days of carving. We really have it all this year, and it is so special to come see.
That looks so cool, literally. You can get the latest theme park news sent right to your email. Digital journalist Haley Coombs compiles the biggest stories on our attractions into one newsletter just for you. Sign up for the In the Loop Theme Park Scoops newsletter at clickorlando.com/newsletter.
Don't ever say that again. It's going to be a long season. We know you are just getting ready for Halloween, but we have an important reminder.
This is really the week that you want to be booking your Thanksgiving travel.
Oh boy. You heard the expert. Book that Thanksgiving travel now, Lisa. What to expect at the airports this holiday season next. And before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out the primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. Well, Halloween will be here before we know it, and that means Thanksgiving is right behind that. Most Americans say they plan to travel for the holidays, too. And despite new signs of economic trouble, Thanksgiving and Christmas look like potential record breakers again.
Chris Van Cleve is at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport with why you should be booking now if you haven't already.
Thanksgiving 2024 was the busiest Thanksgiving ever at the nation's airports, records that may be shattered again this year. Booking data looking at 2024 versus 2025 shows holiday trips booked between June 30th and October 8th are up 2.2% for Thanksgiving and nearly 1% for Christmas week.
We're a really good real-time indicator of the economy. I think the economy today is actually stronger than a lot of the backwards-looking statistics would indicate because we're seeing it in the bookings data.
United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby.
I think the entire fourth quarter, the fall break, Thanksgiving, Christmas, they're all likely to set records with strong demands.
Can this, every season being a record season, can that pace continue? At some point, don't you hit a ceiling?
As long as the economy keeps growing, I think that pace can continue.
Airlines are adding about 250,000 more seats this Thanksgiving. NerdWallet's annual holiday travel report expects Americans to spend $311 billion on flights and hotels this year, about $2,600 a person, up nearly $260 from last year. Sally French tracks travel for NerdWallet.
This is really the week that you want to be booking your Thanksgiving travel, and we are not far out from the week that you want to make sure you've got your Christmas locked in. Your Christmas travel should be booked that first week of November.
Most Americans will drive for Thanksgiving, and their wallets may get a break at the pumps. Gas prices nationally are falling, approaching $3 a gallon on average. Parts of Oklahoma and Ohio may even see prices dip below $2 a gallon. NerdWallet says in general you want to try to book Christmas travel at least 51 days in advance. That is November 4th for Christmas week. After that, expect prices to start rising. The airlines think Florida and Arizona will be popular internationally. They've added the most capacity to the Dominican Republic, Ireland, and the Philippines. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
Well, the good news is we live in a place where people come to visit us. So
Yes.
generally, we don't have to go anywhere.
It's beautiful, especially if we have weather like this.
I
Who
know.
would want to leave this?
I don't.
Great.
And also, I don't really have money to go anywhere, so there's that part too. All righty, taking you outside here at Kissimmee Lakefront Park, looking gorgeous, seeing those cumulus clouds out there, beautiful blue skies, 79 degrees, nice and comfortable, and winds not awful out of the east-northeast at 2 miles per hour. We're getting gusts of 11 miles per hour out in that area. As we take you to Daytona Beach, the water is pretty rough. High rip current risk remains in effect through Sunday night. Still folks out there enjoying themselves. Biketoberfest is also in session, and that is going to last through Sunday, and the weather is looking fantastic for the entire event. As we take a look at your current temperatures here, Orlando 81, Sanford 79, Daytona Beach at 76, and Melbourne, you're at 78 degrees. Talking about Biketoberfest, as we head into the weekend, we'll see abundant sunshine tomorrow. We will be dealing with cooler than normal mornings in the 60s, but look at this. We warm up into the 80s Saturday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, and then on Sunday, it'll be warmer, a touch humid, around 85, 86 degrees, and isolated showers are possible ahead of a cold front that will be moving into our area Sunday night. As we take a look at the setup here, we have a big area of high pressure north of us over the Carolinas. That's going to keep our winds generally out of the northeast as we go through today and tomorrow. Notice we're still dealing with that dry air aloft. That is indicated by all of that orange. That's why it feels nice outside. It's not very muggy. It feels fall-like, and we're going to keep that around at least through tomorrow before a cold front moves in, and ahead of that cold front on Sunday, that's going to pump up the moisture some. As we take a look at your winds and wind gusts, we're at 19 miles per hour wind gusts in New Smyrna Beach, 15 miles per hour in Sanford, and 17 miles per hour in Claremont, as well as Leesburg. So here's what you need to know for your Friday. Mornings will stay relatively on the cooler side of things as we go through the next several days. We're back in the 80s as we go through the afternoon hours. I am expecting 2 cold fronts on the way. And then I am watching 2 tropical waves. Your wake-up temperatures tomorrow, look at this. Everybody starting off in the 60s, find your city, and that's what you'll be waking up to. Your forecast for tomorrow looking fantastic, a bit comfortable as we head into the morning hours, in the middle 60s, lower 80s as we head into the afternoon, and it'll be nice and dry. Forecast highs a little bit below average. Normally we're at 85. My forecast high for tomorrow in Orlando is 81, 82 in Kissimmee, 81 in Melbourne, and 81 degrees in Ocala. Let's talk about your clouds and rain forecast as we go through the weekend. Nice and dry as we go through Sunday or Saturday. And then here's our cold front. A few isolated showers possible Sunday night into Monday morning. And then an area of high pressure begins to set up shop over the southeast, keeping things nice and quiet heading into the upcoming work week. Now let's go ahead and talk about the tropics here. I am watching two waves, but this one here we're really keeping our eye on because it has the potential of developing in the Caribbean Sea area as we head into next week. Low chances for that, but we'll continue to monitor it. As of right now, there are no tropical threats to Central Florida. So I'll leave you here with your 7-day. 81 tomorrow, 86 on Sunday, 20% chance for rain. Next cold front arrives Wednesday night into Thursday.
Michelle, thank you. From spooky to artsy, we've got some exciting things for you to check out this weekend.
So get ready for haunted trails, craft fairs, pirate markets, and more. Michelle will be back with your 6 things to do.
Coming up on Monday, new red light cameras could soon be coming to dozens of Orlando intersections. The busy spots where leaders are looking to improve safety and why not everyone is on board with the plan. Plus, Candace will have an update on the tropics. We'll see you Monday for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan. The weather this weekend is looking perfect across Central Florida for all events. I'm at the Dr. Phillips Center, where one great indoor option to kick off the spooky season is the Rock Orchestra by Candlelight, happening this Sunday. It's an event you don't want to miss. This mesmerizing 90-minute show blends iconic rock and metal hits with hauntingly captivating energy. This 14-piece ensemble performs legendary anthems from Metallica, Guns N' Roses to Evanescence in a candlelit setting that brings the music to life. The show starts at 8 p.m. In Lady Lake, Snooki Park is getting a spooky makeover from 7 to 9 p.m. It transforms into a haunted trail where you'll come face to face with zombies, vampires, and all kinds of creepy creatures. Admission is just $5 for a night full of frights. The Fall Art and Craft Fair is happening this weekend in historic Cocoa Village from 10 to 5 on Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday. With pleasant weather in the forecast, it's a perfect time to stroll through and check out the 200 artist and crafter booths. Enjoy food trucks, live music, wine and beer, plus there's free parking and it's pet friendly. Looking for another spooky option? Head to the Ponce Inlet Historical Museum this Saturday at 6 p.m. For Ghost of Ponce Past, take a guided tour through local history, and best of all, it's a free event. Grab your best pirate gear and set sail for Yo-Ho, A Market's Life for Me, this Saturday from noon to 5 p.m. at the Tom Fellows Community Center in Davenport. Explore over 30 local vendors, enjoy pirate-themed photo ops, and join in on the family-friendly fun. Also on Saturday at the Wall Street Plaza, the International Vegan Food Festival Halloween Bash from 2 to 8 p.m. Enjoy plant-based foods, live entertainment, and a Halloween costume contest with cash prizes. If there's a fun event happening in your town next weekend, I want to hear about it. I've been getting so many fun events from viewers just like you. You can send them to me on clickorlando.com or visit our new 6 app. Just click Contact Us.
Okay, the Cocoa Village is not spooky, and that's
You
right
love
right
that
up my
place,
alley. Yeah,
yes.
exactly. All right, News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
Nothing but an ordinary shift for a pest control worker in Orlando after a shooting erupts while he was on call. Coming up, how the company's responding and what we're learning from the investigation. Plus, 2 teen girls being remembered in Oviedo after a deadly crash, the new permanent memorial honoring their lives that was unveiled today. And your forecast only minutes away. Don't forget, stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this beautiful look at Port Canaveral for free anytime on News 6 Plus. Now at 5, the wrong place at the wrong time. A pest control employee caught in the middle of a shooting in Orlando. What we're learning from the investigation. Plus, a series of proposed constitutional amendments to cut property taxes. What this could mean for your wallet. And have you seen it steadily get worse?
Yes! It's not fun.
One of the busiest roads in Orange County is over capacity. What officials say is contributing to this traffic nightmare. You're watching News 6 at 5.
First tonight, caught in the crossfire. A pest control employee is uninjured tonight after a shooting erupted while he was at a house call this morning in Orlando. A technician with Massey Services ended up speeding away with the shooting victim inside his truck.
Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti joins us live outside Orlando Police Headquarters with more on exactly what happened here. Mike?
Yeah, Matt, good evening. This happened at the Dockside condos, and most of the information we have is from representatives from Massey who credit that employee with his quick thinking.
I've been doing this a long time. I wish I could say this is the first time something crazy has happened, but it's happened periodically over the years, but not common.
Adam Jones is the Vice President and Director of Quality Assurance for Massey Services, a name you've probably seen emblazoned on pest control trucks around town. But typically, those trucks do not have bullet holes in them.
He was shooken up, but he seemed to be okay.
A Massey technician was about to leave his truck and get started on a service call when the technician noticed two guys arguing in the parking lot, and it looked like it was getting heated. One of the guys was walking closer to the Massey truck. Then the technician saw the other guy pull out a gun.
After that, the person who was shot physically dove through the open window into the cab of the vehicle and landed inside of our vehicle. Wow. Now, the good news is our team member did not panic. He handled the situation unbelievably well. Most people wouldn't have been that calm, quite frankly, but kept his cool, was able to engage his vehicle into drive mode and escape the situation.
The truck was hit at least twice. The technician was okay. When our crew got on scene, the victim's shoes were still inside. And the Massey employee told us off camera his uniform was covered in blood.
I think it was just he was unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time, or maybe in the right place at the right time for this gentleman, because they obviously, however he kept his calm, he was able to move out of there very rapidly.
Orlando police will not say if they've made an arrest yet, but they did tell us that the victim in this case was taken to a hospital with, quote, non-life-threatening injuries. We're live outside the Orlando Police Headquarters. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. Tonight, the man accused of attacking a woman on a running trail could soon be back behind bars. News 6 has discovered that prosecutors are trying to revoke Jacoby Tillman's bond. Investigators say the 23-year-old tried to rape and strangle a woman on the Little Econ Greenway Trail in July. He was arrested, and when he faced a judge over the weekend, he was granted bond and released. But the judge set bond at $9,500. State attorneys say Tillman could be back behind bars as early as next Tuesday. Another great day if you were outside today, but will that last for our weekend?
That's the question. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan is here to answer, tracking some interesting things in the forecast.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? We've been lucking out with beautiful weather across the region. Taking you outside here in Daytona Beach, it is busy because Biketoberfest is happening right now, and that lasts through Sunday, and you really couldn't ask for better weather. We have that dry air aloft. That's keeping our humidity nice and low, and also for the most part, rain-free. We're at 76 degrees right now in Daytona Beach. It's breezy, and we stay in the 70s as we go through the rest of your evening. Taking a look at the winds and wind gusts. We're looking at wind gusts between 10 to 20 miles per hour along our coastline, even seeing those stronger winds out of the northeast moving into our inland spots, and it will stay breezy as we go through the evening, lasting into tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, it is going to be a very comfortable start. Many of us will be starting off in the 60s, 65 in Orlando, Wedgefield, 63 in Sanford, 65 in Daytona Beach, and the cool spot out in Ocala at 57. I am tracking 2 cold fronts on the way, as well as 2 tropical waves. We'll talk more about it coming up in my full forecast.
Michelle, thank you. The city of Oviedo has found a way to honor the lives of 2 teens killed in a horrific accident back in August. 17-year-old Kayla Ross 15-year-old Marjorie Whitman died after the Jeep they were riding in lost control on Alafaya Woods Boulevard, crashed, and then it caught fire. We're still asking investigators what happened that night that led to the crash. Meantime, a bench dedicated with their names was unveiled near the spot where the crash happened. Right next to the bench, a vigil is set up by the community with flowers. A GoFundMe is also set up to help the families, where more than $8,500 has been raised so far.
Today marks 1 month since a man was killed after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe. 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala died of multiple blunt force injuries. The ride was closed temporarily during an initial investigation, but is now back open. Universal has also rolled out new safety changes since the incident, including updated signage and rules requiring guests using mobility devices. Rodriguez Zavala's family continues to push for the ride to be shut down until they get answers about what happened.
Republican lawmakers now revealing their plans for property taxes, at least in the House. Now, this has several hurdles to cross, but if passes, it would have huge implications for homeowners. A total of 8 bills are set to be filed. One would eliminate most property taxes outright for people who have a homestead exemption. Now, the exception is money that goes to K-12 school funding. The measures also ban local governments from cutting spending on law enforcement. This is where most property taxes actually go. So voters would need to approve most of the bills in the next November election if they pass in the legislature. I'm digging into this story right now to find out how these changes would impact more residential counties like Seminole. I'll have that story for you next week.
Well, while there is no end in sight for the government shutdown, flights continue to take off nationwide, but some delays have picked up in parts of the country as air traffic controllers, TSA officers, and other employees are required to work without pay. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez went to Orlando International Airport with how things are going there.
While it's a busy scene at Orlando International Airport, travelers seem to be having a normal experience. With the government shutdown, were you anticipating any delays flying out of Orlando?
We were expecting a lot, but there wasn't really much to deal with.
It was a smooth process. There weren't any delays.
Past shutdowns have resulted in a spike in TSA officers and air traffic controllers calling out sick from work, contributing to delays and flight cancellations. I spoke with airport officials who tell me that things here are running as normal despite the government shutdown. Still, travelers tell me that they took extra precautions before coming to Orlando International.
We got here about another 2 hours earlier than we were supposed to.
In a statement to guests, the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority says it doesn't anticipate operations at MCO will be affected by the shutdown, and that it has contingency plans in place if there is a, quote, dramatic decrease in the number of TSA agents processing passengers. Meanwhile, air traffic controllers in other airports handed out flyers this week, warning people that the shutdown is putting pressure on staffing and safety. Controllers are federal employees and legally barred from walking off the job, but they can call in sick, causing backed up runways or rescheduled flights, a reality many have prepared for.
With the government shutdown, I anticipated maybe even the flight not happening or being delayed.
Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
In our nation's capital, Senate Republican leaders are considering taking up a bill as soon as next week to pay federal workers affected by the shutdown. Republicans have held off on voting to pay workers, saying Democrats needed to vote to reopen the government. For that to happen, Senate Majority Leader John Thune took procedural steps on Wednesday to put the bill on the floor. Other GOP leaders are also weighing in on introducing a bill that would require members of the military to be paid. Questions in one Central Florida neighborhood as residents say they are dealing with septic spills. But who is responsible? Your MIMS community correspondent, James Barbero, went to get answers.
So people ask me all the time, how do you get your story ideas? Well, here's a great example. A woman here at the mobile homes on Corral Circle wrote to us, "We have been having septic spills and cave-ins for more than 1 year. Finally, the health department was contacted and visited the park last week, blocking off 7 areas that have standing sewage or are caved in." She goes on to say the folks here literally cannot use their yards. So I wanted to come here to see just how bad it is for myself. And right away, I can see 2 of those caution taped areas she mentioned right in here. And walking a little bit closer, I met Patty So Patty, what's going on here? What are we looking at?
Raw sewage, a caved-in cesspool, and it's been like this for over a year now.
So what's the problem?
It's just caving in, and they keep putting stuff, well, we keep putting stuff around it and on top so that somebody walking through that doesn't know about it doesn't fall in to raw sewage.
And what's your worst fear if this keeps up and continues?
Health risks.
I called the company Patty and other neighbors told me is in charge of the park, but I didn't hear back Friday. Meanwhile, the mess remains. You don't think you're asking for much just to clean this up?
No. I mean, who wants to sit outside and smell raw sewage? You can't.
And I'm going to stay connected with Patty and her neighbors, so whenever we hear news about possible solutions that could clean up this mess finally, we'll update this story on clickorlando.com. In Brevard County, I'm your MIMS community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Still to come, one of the busiest roads in Orange County is over capacity.
We're talking about Narcoossee Road. Next at 5, I spoke with officials about what's happening and the impact that's being felt by commuters.
Plus, bringing a big forest feel to small urban areas. The positive impact experts say it's already making in communities across the country. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Imagine you take an elevator to work every morning. These elevators have a limit of how many people they can transport. What if every morning your elevator were overflowing, exceeding the limit? That's similar to what's happening on Narcoossee Road on the border of Orange and Osceola counties.
Have you lived here for a while?
5 years.
And have you seen it steadily get worse?
Yes. It's not fun.
It's frustrating because you never know. I mean, sometimes you'll get a break, but even still, it's at least 30 minutes to go about 7 miles. Usually it's 45 minutes.
This is a common complaint.
The traffic lights are not synced at all.
News 6 learned about the problem online.
45 minutes to literally drive down 2 miles down the road is absolutely insane.
Absolutely horrible, all stemming from greed.
The issue is only getting worse. According to state numbers, in 2022, 38,000 cars took this route per day. 2 years later, more than 58,000 cars are clogging Narcoossee. And this road is only designed to handle 55,000.
It's a typical suburban 6-lane arterial, but I think what's special is that it's seen an exceptional amount of growth in recent years.
Mike Wilson works for Metroplan Orlando. He says all that growth is coming in southeast Orange County and northern Osceola. The traffic is compressed onto Narcoossee. The big question we're hearing from people is why? Why is it so congested?
It's simply, there's no other route for people to take if they want to go north and south, and more people are going to the corridor.
Metroplan Orlando studied the lights, reconfigured them to optimize traffic patterns, but during the evening peak hours from 192 to Boggy Creek, they reduced the drive time by only 36 seconds, and it increased 6 seconds during the morning rush. Drivers didn't even notice.
It's bad in the morning and it's bad in the afternoon. If you go down here about 2 or 3 o'clock, it's backed up for about 4 miles every day.
All day, every minute. It doesn't matter. Every hour.
So Narcoossee is among the busiest roads in Central Florida, along with John Young Parkway and Colonial Drive. But unlike those two, Narcoossee has some hope for the future. There's a plan in place to build Toll Road 534 to give drivers another option. There's a problem, though. The project is just wrapping up the design phase. It won't be finished for many years.
It's amazing that it has grown, really ballooned in such a short period of time.
Everything from North Osceola County goes up there and
Yeah.
South Orange. It's very congested.
It's a mess, especially at this time on a Friday
Wouldn't want to be on there right now, no.
Yeah, but maybe you could roll down the windows, try and enjoy it, right? It's so beautiful outside. Michelle Morgan standing by with our weekend forecast, Michelle.
And it is really nice outside, Lisa, and it's breezy, so the air isn't stagnant. So you get a bit of a breeze out there while you're out and about. So as we take you outside here in downtown Orlando, looks like a postcard. Beautiful blue skies, seeing those puffy white clouds. We're at 80 degrees. This camera, a lighter Orlando delivering Hope Together camera. And we're going to keep this scene around as we go through the next several days. We have winds out of the east-northeast at 14 miles per hour, gusting a little bit stronger at 19 miles per hour. Taking you out to Marion County, Dunellen, looking gorgeous as well, 83 degrees. Winds a little bit lighter out of the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour. So here's what you need to know for your Friday heading into the weekend. There's a lot of things happening across Central Florida, and the weather is going to cooperate, whether you're heading out to fall festivals, trying to find that perfect pumpkin, anything. If you're starting off the spooky season, we're looking good to go. So 60s in the mornings, may need a light jacket, 80s during the day. And then I am tracking 2 cold fronts, or expecting 2 cold fronts. The first one Sunday into Monday, and then the second one Wednesday into Thursday. It's not going to necessarily bring cooler air, but it is going to continue that drier trend as we go through the next several days. Tropics, looking at 2 tropical waves. We'll go over that coming up in a bit, but as of right now, there are no tropical threats to the region. Taking a look at the water vapor imagery, really pinpointing all of that dry air hanging over the peninsula. That's indicated by that orange area of high pressure to the north of us over the Carolinas. It's going to keep our winds out of the northeast as we go through the next couple of days or so, and also staying breezy. If you live along the coastline, gusts could get up to 25 miles per hour, so keep that in mind. Taking a look at your forecast for the rest of the evening, 79 around 6, 74 around 8, and then 71 later on tonight, and staying rain-free. Your wake-up temperatures looking fantastic. We're looking at 50s and 60s, 65 in Orlando, Wedgefield, New Smyrna Beach, 69 in Melbourne, and the cool spot out in Ocala at 57 degrees. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
You may need a light jacket as you're heading out, but things are going to warm up nicely into lower 80s. We'll see abundant sunshine, and it'll also be dry. Forecast highs, 82 in Sanford, Oviedo, looking at 81 in Orlando, 83 in Mount Dora. As we head to Palm Coast, a high of 83, 80 in Port Orange, 82 in Bellevue, and also our southern counties, 82 in Holopaw, Point Siena at 83, and then we're looking at 80 degrees out in Melbourne Beach. So let's go ahead and talk about your clouds of rain forecast. There's that cold front is expected to bring some severe weather out to the north and west of us. By the time that cold front gets closer and closer to our area, it will significantly weaken, kick up our winds, a few isolated showers possible Sunday night into Monday, and then drier air begins to move in as we go through Monday and Tuesday. Now, taking a look at the satellite imagery here, looking at two spots. This is the area that we are looking at a little bit closer. Tropical wave found over the central Atlantic. It has a low chance for tropical development, but you could see this highlighted area. We'll have to watch it very closely and see what it does as we head into next week. And if there is any development, we're looking at closer to the end of the week next week. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I'll leave you here with your 7-day forecast. 81 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday, and we stay in the lower 80s all week next week.
A movement to plant tiny forests is growing around the world. I'm Bradley Blackburn with how these small spaces can have a big impact.
Your weekend evening traffic alert. Have a great weekend, but pay attention overnight. We will see construction along the Florida Turnpike southern portions. I'm talking Osceola County. No closures, but lane closures. You'll still be able to get by. This weekend, we will see a shutdown again of Champions Gate Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening. East and westbound underneath I-4. Follow the detours. You'll be good to go. And then that routine construction taking place in our attractions. Good weather. They'll ramp up that stuff overnight so we can hopefully finish it on time. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you Monday morning.
Enjoying the great outdoors can be a year-round pleasure, and ideally no matter where you live. And now there is a growing mission to bring the benefits of forests into surprisingly small spaces.
It's called the Tiny Forest Movement, and it's starting to gain some steam. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn explains what it's all about.
Something's growing in Summit, New Jersey.
This tiny forest is an entire ecosystem, squeezed in a space the size of a suburban yard.
How many different plants are in here?
So over 50 species.
Donna Gagan Patel says this quarter-acre forest has thrived since it was first planted 3 years ago.
We had hundreds of people who volunteered time here helping to prepare the ground for the planting, actually doing the planting, and then watering and weeding the first several years.
Summit signed on to a global movement to put small forests in unused urban spaces. This one growing in Berkeley, California, another now taking root in Iowa. Proponents say the tiny forests absorb rainwater, capture carbon, and create habitat for wildlife. They're also known as Miyawaki forests, named for the Japanese botanist who created a planting technique to help them grow up to 10 times faster.
Putting them densely planted helps them to compete for resources and grow quicker.
In Summit, the tall fence keeps hungry deer out. Plants are native to this area
We have white turtlehead.
and placed intentionally to mature together in the coming decades.
Should be fully developed in 20 to 30 years.
Let's go, Bubby.
But Mary Tereshuk and her dog Punk are enjoying the benefits now.
The air almost seems purer when you're breathing it in here because you're just surrounded by all these beautiful trees.
A peaceful way to enjoy nature and help the earth in a new, small spot. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Summit, New Jersey.
So how much does it cost to begin a tiny forest? Apparently about $13,000, which goes toward all the planting by hand. Over time, it should become self-sustaining, just like a larger forest. Here in Florida, the Suncoast Urban Reforesters are focusing on the Sarasota and Manatee County areas.
I like it.
Me too.
Cool idea.
Love trees.
Much more coming up in the next half hour.
Including safety preparations in Orlando ahead of a very busy weekend. A preview of the two major events happening this weekend that are expecting to draw in huge crowds.
Plus, a controversial councilman in Palm Bay has been censured. His response today as his legal team prepares to fight the city's decision.
As we take a live look at Daytona Beach, you're watching News 6. It's looking pretty busy out there tonight. Keep it here. We'll be right back. Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We are following several top stories for you right now. In Orlando, a pest control employee on the job ends up in the middle of shooting. This happened at the dockside at Ventura Condominiums at Woodgate Boulevard and Curry Ford. Massey tells us the shooting victim actually jumped into the employee's truck. The truck was hit at least twice. The technician is okay. Orlando police will not say if they've made any arrests, but they do say the victim has non-life-threatening injuries.
The man accused of attacking a woman on a running trail could end up back in jail. News 6 has discovered that prosecutors are now attempting to revoke 23-year-old Jacoby Tillman's bond. The move by state attorneys could have the suspect back behind bars as early as next Tuesday. Republican lawmakers are now revealing their plans for property taxes. A total of 8 bills are set to be filed. One would eliminate most property taxes outright for people who have a homestead exemption. The measure also would ban local governments from cutting spending on law enforcement. Voters would need to approve most of the bills in next November's election if they pass in the legislature.
Happening this weekend, multiple cities across Central Florida will be holding No Kings protests. These were the scenes from the No Kings rallies from back in June. They were relatively peaceful. There were a few arrests there, including 3 at a rally in Oviedo. People are protesting the Trump administration and their handling of ICE deportations. Security is obviously going to be a big issue. We asked Orlando police how they're preparing. They said the following: safety and security of everyone remains the Orlando Police Department's top priority. We always plan and staff large-scale events appropriately. To provide proper public safety and assess the needs of the event to make any necessary security modifications. It's not just the protests in Orlando, but also the Come Out with Pride festival around Lake Eola is expected to draw more than 200,000 people.
But this year's festival comes with renewed debate over pride symbols and what they represent. News 6's Mark Lehman shows us how the community is preparing while pushing for unity.
We saw workers hanging flags with banners and parade signs foreshadowing how busy downtown Orlando will be on Saturday. The 21st annual Come Out with Pride is expected to draw more than 200,000, with the festival centered around Lake Eola.
It's really just amazing that we're going to have so many people.
Christine Hanovan says she plans to attend, but her primary focus is the ongoing battle over pride symbols placed on state property outside polls.
No matter how many times you try to wash away symbols, water brings rainbows.
Things have calmed down a lot since the decision was first made to paint over the rainbow crosswalk because of new state and federal guidelines. Still, though, there are many who are pushing to make their voices heard. There are messages all around this area, like this one right here that says, "No impeding the people." This one as well saying defacing memorials is immoral.
We need to be standing together as a community and staying strong.
Come Out with Pride is happening as some Pride festivals have been canceled this year because of declining sponsorships. With that in mind, Hannigan says it's important to show support, and she hopes that message will shine through on Saturday.
We have to remember the roots of Pride are that we're fighting for our community and for justice.
In Orlando, Mark Lehman, News 6.
In Brevard County, a Palm Bay City councilman who has been at the center of controversy for weeks has now been formally censured by his peers. Chandler Langevin has faced sharp criticism and even calls for his suspension because of his comments about immigrants from India. But this new move will likely set the city up for a lawsuit. News 6's Angie Casada is following the latest with all of this.
Chandler Langevin's lawyer making it clear right after Thursday night's meeting that he would be filing a lawsuit. So let's break this down. The council voted 3-2 late Thursday night, formally reprimanding Langevin and stripping him of several powers, including his ability to introduce new agenda items, serve on city boards, or speak during council reports. It follows weeks of backlash after his comments calling to, quote, deport every Indian. At City Hall, dozens of residents spoke out both for and against the move. The mayor called the comments conduct unbecoming and said that they hurt Palm Bay's image, while Langevin claimed he was being targeted for his views.
He is supposed to represent every one of us. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Muslim, Jew, atheist, that is your job.
As soon as we start allowing councils to silence its members and take away their primary roles and responsibilities because we disagree with their speech or policy, we set a dangerous precedent that would allow any majority to silence any minority.
Now, his attorney Anthony Sabatini is calling the censure vote, quote, textbook First Amendment retaliation and totally illegal. The council has also sent a letter to the governor asking for Langevin's suspension, but so far there's been no response from the governor's office. In studio, Angie Casada, News 6.
Well, tonight, Winter Park police say a man is facing charges after a backpack full of ammunition was found in the Rollins College bookstore. A spokesperson for the school says Jamie Marquez Banegas was arrested by Winter Park police shortly after leaving the campus bookstore. The police report says he brought 70 rounds of ammunition with him and later confirmed with campus security it belonged to him after a confrontation. Now, we're told that Banegas is not affiliated with the school and there is no threat to the community.
Florida's Attorney General is taking California and Washington State to court over truck drivers in the U.S. illegally. James Uthmeyer posted this on social media last night, saying he asked the U.S. Supreme Court to block the two states from issuing commercial licenses to drivers not legally in the country. It comes after a deadly semi-crash on the turnpike earlier this year that killed 3 people. The driver of the truck received his commercial driver's license from California despite not being a citizen. The lawsuit claims California and Washington have ignored federal safety and immigration requirements, which endangers drivers nationwide.
An update now in the case of Trooper, the dog. You remember he was left tied to a fence along a highway near Tampa during Hurricane Milton. Well, prosecutors are now saying they have dropped the charges against the man accused of leaving him behind. So there's a statement from Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office that tells us during the deposition and discovery process, they determined they did not have enough evidence to prove the man intentionally tied the dog to the fence in rising waters. Trooper inspired Trooper's Law, which now makes it a felony to abandon a pet during a declared natural disaster. Well, check the freezer. Publix has issued a voluntary recall of one of its store brand flavors of ice cream. The rich and creamy vanilla ice cream may contain an undeclared egg allergen. The recalled ice cream may also contain a mismatched French vanilla container lid. So it's sold in half-gallon containers, sell by date of June 19th, 2026. So far, there have been no reports of illness. You can return the ice cream to the store and get a full refund.
As the federal government shutdown enters its 3rd week, the State Department of Commerce did not release monthly unemployment figures as expected today, but we are still getting a look at the job numbers. In August, the state's jobless rate was 3.8%. This week, Florida's Commerce Secretary Alex Kelly said Florida is creating businesses and leading in talent recruitment and development. However, he says growth in skilled manufacturing jobs faces a challenge as the workforce ages.
More than 50% of our manufacturing workforce is 45 or older, which is very disproportionately different than most of our other workforce sectors in Florida. So for all we're doing, we're just simply aging out retirements out of our manufacturing sector.
In August, there were 424,000 Floridians qualified as unemployed. That's from a workforce of just over 11 million. It was a special welcome today at Gaylord Palms Resort. 40 master ice carvers made the 7,000-mile journey from China to begin their work transforming 2 million pounds of ice into magical holiday displays for the resort's annual ice attraction.
And let's just say this year's exhibit will leave you with a red nose. News 6 digital journalist Haley Coombs and photojournalist Charles Holmes were there for the welcoming ceremony and give us a look at the artisans in action.
It is so nostalgic to have the classic Christmas movie, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We have 11 scenes from the iconic scenes from the movie, make them into ice form. We have Hermie, the elf that wants to be a dentist. We have Rudolph himself with Clarice. We have the Island of Misfit Toys. We have over 2 million pounds of ice, 9 degrees, so make sure you bundle up. They carve for 33 days straight. And it is really in their tradition and culture. Wish you well, have good luck. Our way of welcoming them to the States, specifically Kissimmee, Florida, and wish them luck on their adventure. They've already done so much work in the past 6 days of carving. We really have it all this year, and it is so special to come see.
Well, bat lovers and art fans, get ready for this. This weekend, artist Erica Group will unveil a brand new mural at D Ranch Preserve in Osteen. This time, it's human-sized Brazilian free-tailed bat wings, a tribute to a native Florida species. The group shared video with News 6 of the giant wings being installed at the preserve. The new mural joins the popular Wings of the West Trail, a collection of social media-friendly wing art installations scattered across West Volusia County. The most well-known being the Angel Wings in downtown DeLand. You can check it out beginning at 10 a.m. Just in time for Halloween, too.
There you go.
Love
People
it.
love taking pictures with wings. It's a thing, I guess. Well, using technology for crime.
It is a small Apple device. You may even have one at your house. Up next, how one Florida family was targeted by crooks taking advantage of AirTags. How investigators say they pulled it off.
And the weekend forecast is looking fantastic across the region, where our morning temperatures beginning in the 50s and 60s, and then afternoon highs back in the 80s. But I am tracking a cold front on the way. What it brings, we'll talk about it coming up in my full forecast.
And remembering the Spaceman, an iconic rock legend passing away, the lasting legacy his face paint and guitar riffs leave behind.
Well, it's something that people use every day, Apple AirTags, and although they can be very useful, one family from Hillsborough County found out they can also be used for crime.
CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more on how the suspects were able to use them to track the victims down.
The couple had just pulled their car into the driveway one night in August. Newly released surveillance video shows two men walking over and then forcing them into the garage.
The wife opens her door and she's immediately attacked by one of our suspects. He physically grabs her and pulls her out of the car. Almost simultaneously, the driver and husband gets pulled out of the car with a gun into his waist.
Police say the suspects attempting to rob the home used an AirTag taped under the bumper to track their vehicle. They were lying in wait, but once inside the house, an alarm went off and they took off. The two men, 26-year-old Luis Charles and 32-year-old Omardi Maldonado Rodriguez, are now behind bars, booked on charges including armed burglary, robbery with a firearm, and illegal installation of a tracking device. This deputy body camera footage shows the moment one of them was pulled over and taken into custody.
What's your first name? Your last name's Charles, right? Yeah. Lewis? Yeah. Your first name? All right. Can you just step up in the car real quick for me?
What's so interesting is that the AirTag helped the burglars track their victims. But in this case, it also helped you catch them.
Absolutely. They use their name to purchase it. They use their name to register it, and their phone number and their email address. So that was the big break in the case, because we were able to identify through video surveillance.
Roberto Lareal is owner of a home security company in Miami.
What should people look out for? That's a good question. You know, the iPhone can let you know whether a AirTag was found near you, so it keeps you aware.
Authorities say if you see those notifications, that's when you want to contact them. Apple says that it works with safety groups and with law enforcement, and that each AirTag has its own unique serial number and Apple ID. This AirTag has its serial number inside the battery compartment. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
All right, let's get a check of that weather. Really beautiful day outside. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Hopefully that continues into this weekend.
Yeah, thankfully it will, Matt. You know, we've been lucking out with great weather across Central Florida. We're going to hold on to that as we head in through the next several days. Taking you outside, Light Orlando delivering Hope camera, just really painting the scene. Blue skies, some puffy clouds. And today we saw a daytime high of 83 degrees, which, yes, we're a few degrees below average this afternoon, but nonetheless, it was a very comfortable and rain-free day. So here's what you need to know as we go through today or the rest of the evening into the weekend. We're looking at our morning temperatures in the 50s and 60s. So it will be a nice coolish start to our mornings and then warmer afternoons. I am expecting two cold fronts to head our way Sunday night into Monday and then Wednesday night into Thursday. Now, these fronts will significantly weaken, only bringing a few isolated showers and kicking up our winds as we go through that time frame. As we take a look at the tropics here, I am monitoring two tropical waves, and as of right now, there are no tropical threats to Central Florida, but we'll go ahead and talk about it coming up in a bit. Water vapor imagery showing that dry air aloft over the peninsula. That's indicated by all of that orange. That's why it feels nice outside, not as muggy. Air of high pressure to the north of us over the Carolinas, keeping our winds out of the northeast, and also breezy, especially if you live closer to the coastline. Daytona Beach Skycam showing it's pretty busy out there. We have Biketoberfest going on through Sunday. Folks are out and about. For the rest of the evening, we are going to stay in the middle 70s, around 7, lower 80s as we head into tonight. No rain in the forecast. Your Biketoberfest forecast into tomorrow, 81, abundant sunshine on Sunday, a bit warmer and a little bit more humid due to that approaching front. So ahead of that frontal boundary, that's going to kick up the moisture content across the area. If you do have any plans this evening, we're looking good in Orlando. 79 around 6, staying breezy. As we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour, 74, staying pleasant. And then around 10, 71 degrees with a few clouds around. Wake up temperatures tomorrow, we're looking at 65 in Titusville, 68 in Cape Canaveral, 69 in Melbourne. And look at that out in Ocala, 57 degrees. You may need a light jacket as you're heading out. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Starting off in the middle 60s, we're at 77 around 11, lower 80s as we wrap up the afternoon. For the rest of Central Florida, 80 in Daytona Beach, 82 in Kissimmee, and 83 in Leesburg and Claremont. Clouds and rain forecast showing that air of high pressure sliding to our east. There goes that cold front. Could bring some severe weather to the north and west of us, but by the time it gets to us, it significantly weakens. A few isolated showers possible Sunday morning into Monday, or Sunday night into Monday morning, and then drier air moves in. Taking a quick peek at the tropics here, I do want to talk about this tropical wave over the central Atlantic. It has a low chance for tropical development in this general area over the Caribbean Sea. Has a 30% chance for tropical development. If it does get a name, the next name on the list is Melissa. So I'll leave you here with your 7-day forecast. 81 tomorrow, 86 on Sunday with a 20% chance for rain. 81 on Monday, also a few showers possible. Next front arrives Wednesday night into Thursday.
Michelle, thank you. Well, what would you do if you found $7,000 just sitting there on the ground?
Well, one man in Maine took it for himself, but now he could be facing some serious charges. Up next, the search underway right now to find that missing money.
Coming up on Monday, new red light cameras could soon be coming to dozens of Orlando intersections. The busy spots where leaders are looking to improve safety and why not everyone is on board with the plan. Plus, Candace will have an update on the tropics. We'll see you Monday for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
He was a founding member of one of the biggest rock bands on the planet. We're talking about Kiss. He was the lead guitarist and even created the band's iconic logo. And today, the world is mourning his death.
Ace Frehley passed away after a recent fall at his home at the age of 74. But as Vladimir Duthier reports, his legacy is timeless.
Ace Frehley's gonna do Shock Me!
Paul Ace Frehley is considered one of rock's guitar gods with his signature smoking six-string. Frehley formed Kiss in 1973 with Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Peter Criss. He wrote the song Shock Me after he was nearly electrocuted on stage by his guitar. Frehley was known to millions as Space Ace or the Spaceman, a nickname earned for his otherworldly makeup and wardrobe.
You're kind of like a spaceman, huh?
No, actually, I'm a plumber.
In 1978, the Bronx, New York native put out a top 20 solo hit with New York Groove.
You better believe I'm back in the New York Groove.
After leaving Kiss in 1982, he embarked on a solo career, scoring a hit with Rock Soldiers.
back and he told you so.
Fraley rejoined Kiss for a massive reunion tour in the 1990s. But his relationship with the band remained strained.
Time to leave and get another quart.
Despite the years of friction, his former bandmates called Fraley an essential and irreplaceable rock soldier who will always be a part of Kiss's legacy.
My advice for anybody in life is just do what you enjoy doing and don't give up.
Vladimir Dutip, CBS News.
Well, if you see cash on the ground, you might think it's as easy as finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Well, if it's that easy to stumble upon a couple of bucks, what you could find out, what if you found close to 10 grand on the ground? It is totally different rules in that case. So this happened in Maine. A man says he placed the cash he made from selling his car on top of the car.
First mistake.
And then the wind blew it away. That's when dash cam footage shows another man taking the money and then speeding off in a gray CR-V. Police are still looking for the guy who took the cash, not because of the amount of money, but the fact that it was reported missing.
Now that you know that there's someone out there who it belongs to, allegedly.
You knew it belonged to somebody when you took it.
But to them, I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting story.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and how much is too much? When does it become illegal? I don't know. Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we're working on for News 6 at 6.
Well, it is going to be a busy weekend in downtown Orlando, but at the same time as hundreds gather for Orlando Pride, dozens of communities are expected to gather for another round of No Kings protests across Central Florida, where you can expect to see them.
The facts would justify
anyone coming to the conclusion that his release would present a danger to the community.
Prosecutors are trying to revoke the bond of a man accused of attacking a woman running in Orange County. The latest motions filed against him. Plus, a pest control employee on the job finds himself in the middle of shooting.
I've been doing this a long time. I wish I could say this is the first time something crazy has happened.
Find out how the victim ended up in his truck.
Florida's Surgeon General in town saying he wants to get rid of even more vaccine mandates. Details coming up.
News 6 at 6 starts now. Let's begin with some breaking news tonight. We just learned prosecutors want a man accused of attacking a woman on a trail in Orange County back in jail because they say he already violated the terms of his bond. Jacoby Tillman was arrested last week for the July attack, granted bond, then released.
And we just got a hold of new court documents that detail what he allegedly did just days after he was let out that could land him back in custody soon. News 6's Catherine Silver has been following this story for you all week. She has the latest developments now.
This is the motion to revoke bond that was just obtained by News 6. It says when Jacoby Tillman was released this weekend, he was ordered not to have any direct or indirect contact with the victim or any witnesses in the case. But prosecutors say he made comments directed at a witness. Screenshots of Tillman's alleged TikTok show a text message that prosecutors say was sent by the witness to Tillman in the past. They believe Tillman posted that message with a caption that reads in part, quote, "Stop going to the news telling lies." Prosecutors argue that is grounds to revoke Tillman's bond, which was set at $9,500 by a judge this weekend. At the time, she gave this word of warning.
If I get any inkling that you have violated the conditions of pretrial release, you will be arrested on a no bond warrant, you'll be put right back in jail, and you will not get out. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
We're also learning that Tillman is now facing an added charge of attempted murder, which is a first-degree felony. Investigators say the 23-year-old tried to rape and strangle a woman on the Little Econ Greenway Trail in July. Court records show Tillman has pled not guilty to the charges. There is a hearing set for next week, which means Tillman could be ordered to go back to jail as soon as Tuesday. In the newsroom, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
We're told a Massey employee on a service call narrowly escaped bullets meant for someone else. This happened this morning at the Dockside condos in Orlando. An argument between two guys escalated to gunfire. One of them was hurt. The technician's truck was hit at least twice, but he was not hurt. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti spoke with someone from Massey earlier today who walked us through what happened after the shots were fired.
After that, the person who was shot physically dove through the open window into the cab of the vehicle and landed inside of our vehicle. Wow. Now, the good news is our team member did not panic. He handled the situation unbelievably well. Most people wouldn't have been that calm, quite frankly.
The man who was shot was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. Orlando police would not say if an arrest in this case has been made yet.
Time now to get a check of that weather. It's been a beautiful Friday so far, and that is going to continue. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous week across the region. We're going to keep that trend as we go through the next several days, but I am expecting two cold fronts to head our way. It's not going to bring huge impacts to central Florida, but it is going to kick up our winds and a few showers are possible. Before we get to that, taking you outside, live look out in downtown Orlando. This is from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera, looking gorgeous. Now for today, we saw a daytime high of 83 degrees, 2 degrees shy of the normal highs for this time of the season. But all in all, it was a gorgeous day and also a dry day. Taking you out to Daytona Beach, it is busy. We have Biketoberfest happening. And if you are heading out to that event or there right now for the rest of the evening, the forecast is looking great. It'll be comfortable, windy, but no rain in the forecast as we go through that time frame. Water vapor imagery showing that dry air aloft. That's why it just feels great outside, keeping that humidity nice and low. For the rest of the evening in Orlando, temperatures are at 77 around 7, 72 around 9, and 70 around 11. So as we head into the weekend, we're looking at cooler temperatures starting off the mornings and also 80s in the afternoon. We'll talk more about all of that coming up in my full forecast.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, questions in one Central Florida neighborhood as neighbors say they're dealing with septic spills. But the question is, who is responsible?
Your MIMS community correspondent, James Sparvero, went to find answers.
So people ask me all the time, how do you get your story ideas? Well, here's a great example. A woman here at the mobile homes on Corral Circle wrote to us, "We have been having septic spills and cave-ins for more than 1 year. Finally, the health department was contacted and visited the park last week, blocking off 7 areas that have standing sewage or are caved in." She goes on to say the folks here literally cannot use their yards. So I wanted to come here to see just how bad it is for myself. And right away, I can see 2 of those caution taped areas she mentioned right in here. And walking a little bit closer, I met Patty. So Patty, what's going on here? What are we looking at?
Raw sewage, a caved-in cesspool. And it's been like this for over a year now.
So what's the problem?
It's just caving in. And they keep putting stuff, well, we keep putting stuff around it and on top so that somebody walking through that doesn't know about it doesn't fall in to raw sewage.
And what's your worst fear if this keeps up and continues?
Health risks.
I called the company Patty and other neighbors told me is in charge of the park, but I didn't hear back Friday. Meanwhile, the mess remains. You don't think you're asking for much just to clean this up?
No. I mean, who wants to sit outside and smell raw sewage? You can't.
And I'm going to stay connected with Patty and her neighbors, so whenever we hear news about possible solutions that could clean up this mess finally, we'll update this story on clickorlando.com. In Brevard County, I'm your MIMS community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Today marks 1 month since a man was killed after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe. 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala died of multiple blunt force injuries, and the ride was closed for the rest of September. Universal made the decision to reopen the ride about 2 weeks ago with updated safety guidelines. Rodriguez Zavala's family continues to push for the ride to be shut down until they get answers about what happened. And this is a story we've been covering extensively, and you can read our full reporting right now on clickorlando.com.
Well, the streets in the city of Orlando are sure to be jam-packed this weekend as the 21st annual Come Out with Pride celebration is set for tomorrow. The event runs from noon to 9:30 in Lake Eola Park and will offer parades, entertainment, and fireworks. Also tomorrow, protesters will be lining the streets in the heart of the city, speaking out against Trump administration policies. A No Kings rally runs at City Hall from 10 in the morning till noon. This is video from June when similar demonstrations took place. Protests are expected to happen statewide and nationwide tomorrow. We reached out to Orlando Police to see if there would be increased security. The department said safety is the top priority, and it always plans and staffs large-scale events to make sure everyone is safe in case of an emergency.
If you want to get your child vaccinated, you still have that right. But the parents that don't, for whatever reason they choose, they should have that right too.
Florida parents sharing their voice after a summit in Osceola County today. The state surgeon general speaking at the Moms for Liberty event today about efforts to get rid of vaccine mandates in schools.
Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee spoke with parents and state health experts as some diseases are on the rise.
We'll always be able to find a way to navigate to where we need to be.
Speaking at the Moms for Liberty Summit in Osceola County, Florida's Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Ladapo, praised the group for its work in backing his efforts to eliminate vaccine mandates. Former Brevard County School Board member Tina Deskovich is co-founder and CEO.
He did a great job explaining his latest stance on stopping mandates for children and how nobody should have the power to force you to inject something into yourself or into your child.
As the head of the Florida Department of Health, Dr. Ladapo has already removed some mandates, while others will need action from the legislature, something he asked the group to help with.
So we're working on removing those, and we're going to need the cooperation of our lawmakers and to be able to do those. And, so we're working on that too.
With the surge in whooping cough cases in Florida and outbreak of measles in South Carolina, there is a concern among some about removing vaccine mandates. But parents like Sean Zerke from Brevard, who has a 5-year-old with a heart condition, want a choice.
I also have a master's in public health, so I am educated on vaccines. Not all parents are. And so having the position that Ladapo has for our state about returning that medical decision making to the parents. If you want to get your child vaccinated, you still have that right. But the parents that don't, for whatever reason they choose, they should have that right too.
Helena Munoz has 2 kids and came here to learn more.
Because I've learned so much from this organization, I do know now that I have the right to ask the doctor to maybe space out things and not necessarily give them 4 or 5 at once.
As of now, the state still requires vaccines for MMR, hepatitis, and chickenpox, as well as some others. But that could start to change when lawmakers return to Tallahassee next year. Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
An overcrowded road is now causing headaches for Central Florida drivers.
It's at least 30 minutes to go about 7 miles. Usually it's 45 minutes.
I'm digging into how the state is working to ease the pain for drivers on Narcoossee Road.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
Imagine you take an elevator to work every morning. These elevators have a limit of how many people they can transport. What if every morning your elevator were overflowing, exceeding the limit? That's similar to what's happening on Narcoossee Road on the border of Orange and Osceola counties. Have you lived here for a while?
5 years.
And have you seen it steadily get worse?
Yes. It's not fun.
It's frustrating because you never know. I mean, sometimes you'll get a break, but even still, it's at least 30 minutes to go about 7 miles. Usually it's 45 minutes.
This is a common complaint.
The traffic lights are not synced at all.
News 6 learned about the problem online.
45 minutes to literally drive down 2 miles down the road is absolutely insane.
Absolutely horrible, all stemming from greed.
The issue is only getting worse. According to state numbers, in 2022, 38,000 cars took this route per day. 2 years later, more than 58,000 cars are clogging Narcoossee. And this road is only designed to handle 55,000.
It's a typical suburban 6-lane arterial, but I think what's special is that it's seen an exceptional amount of growth in recent years.
Mike Wilson works for Metroplan Orlando. He says all that growth is coming in southeast Orange County and northern Osceola. The traffic is compressed onto Narcoossee. The big question we're hearing from people is why? Why is it so congested?
It's simply, there's no other route for people to take if they want to go north and south, and more people are going to the corridor.
Metroplan Orlando studied the lights, reconfigured them to optimize traffic patterns, but during the evening peak hours from 192 to Boggy Creek, they reduced the drive time by only 36 seconds, and it increased 6 seconds during the morning rush. Drivers didn't even notice.
It's bad in the morning and it's bad in the afternoon. If you go down here about 2 or 3 o'clock, it's backed up for about 4 miles every day.
All day, every minute. It doesn't matter. Every hour.
I felt that lady.
You know what the part that stinks about doing a story like that is to get to it, I have to be stuck in
In traffic, yes, exactly. So you got to feel it too.
Yeah.
Great story, but is it going to get fixed anytime soon?
There's a plan in place, and it should be done by about 2032. So the answer is not
It's
really.
coming.
Yeah. Eventually,
stay tuned.
maybe.
Oh my gosh. All right, you know what else is coming? It's the weekend.
The weekend.
And holidays.
And holidays.
Yeah, it's all heading for us.
And some cold fronts.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Bring it all.
It's not going to bring cold weather, but it's coming. Well, no, I want to show you this fall countdown just so we're all like in reality. Halloween, 14 days away. Daylight savings, 16 days away. Veterans Day, 25. And Thanksgiving, 41 days away. Notice I have excluded Christmas. I'm not ready to talk about Christmas quite yet. But things are coming quickly and the cooler weather is on the way as well. But we've been lucking out with great weather across the region. Taking you outside here in downtown Orlando. Clear skies. This is from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Today we saw a daytime high of 83 degrees, 2 degrees shy of the normal temperatures. But all in all, it was a very nice day across Central Florida. So here's what you need to know as we head into the weekend. It is going to be pleasant. We're going to see our morning temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and then our afternoon highs in the 80s. And really no rain in the forecast. But as we head into our Sunday, I am expecting a cold front to move through the area. It will weaken by the time it gets to us, and a few isolated showers are possible Sunday into Monday morning. Hit or miss. The tropics still tracking 2 areas, and one we're monitoring a little bit closer because it is expected to head into the Caribbean Sea. We'll talk about that coming up shortly, but I do want to paint the picture here for you as we take a look at the water vapor imagery. Area of high pressure to the north of us over the Carolinas will keep our winds generally out of the northeast as we go through the next couple of days, staying breezy along our coastline. But notice dry air aloft over the peninsula, meaning it's going to keep the humidity pretty low as we go through the next couple of days or so before that front moves through Sunday into Monday. So your hour-by-hour forecast for the rest of the evening looks really nice if you have any Friday night plans. We're at 77 around 7, 74 around 8, and 72 around 9. As we take a look at your wake-up temperatures, we're looking at 65 in Wedgefield, Orlando, New Smyrna Beach. The cool spot out in Ocala at 57. In the Villages, Wildwood, you all waking up to 60 degrees. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Orlando waking up to 65 by 10, 74, lower 80s heading into the afternoon, and no rain in the forecast tomorrow if you're going to go to any festivals as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Now your forecast highs, 80 in Daytona Beach, Palm Coast, 81 in Titusville, 82 in Kissimmee, and 83 in Claremont. So your clouds and rain forecast is showing that area of high pressure continuing to slide to the east. There's that cold front heading our way. It's expected to bring severe weather to parts of the southeast, but notice as it gets closer to central Florida, it weakens. A few isolated showers are possible. And then another area of high pressure begins to develop over the southeast, keeping things generally dry as we head into the upcoming work week. Now, I am watching two spots. We have a non-tropical low found over the northern Atlantic. It has a 10% chance for tropical development in the next 2 to 7 days. But here's the spot that we're really monitoring, a pretty healthy tropical wave over the central Atlantic. It is expected to move to the west and develop in that general area highlighted by the National Hurricane Center, which is the Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, it is expected to bring heavy rains as well as gusty winds to the Windward and Leeward Islands this weekend. It's not going to do much in the next 2 days, but a 30% chance for tropical development in the next 7 days. So we're going to continue to watch it. If any development happens, we're looking at next week. And if it gets a name, the next name on the list is Melissa and Nestor. So I'll leave you here with your 7-day forecast. 81 degrees tomorrow, abundant sunshine, no rain as we head into our Sunday, placing a 20% chance for a few isolated showers, and it is going to be warmer with a high of 86 degrees. Cold front slides through Sunday night into Monday, a few possible showers Monday morning. It's going to bring a little bit of that cool air to the area on Monday with a high of 81. And then looking pretty good as we head into the upcoming work week. And a next frontal boundary is expected to move through Wednesday into Thursday. But notice, not a whole lot of rain in the forecast.
Yeah, that looks good, Michelle. Thank you.
I try my best.
Good work. Sports director Jamie Say, let's see how she does. Jamie, the Miami Hurricanes under the Friday night lights.
Yeah, the Hurricanes host Louisville in just about a half hour. This is no gimme game for number 2 Miami. A preview is on the way. Plus, another great slate of high school football tonight. Dr. Phillips goes for an upset of undefeated Edgewater at 7 in College Park. More high school ball is next. Welcome back to News 6. The high school football regular season is coming down the stretch. Week 9 kicks off tonight with some great games around Central Florida, and one of them is in Lake Mary. News 6 is live at Lake Mary High as these 5-2 Rams host the 6-1 Evans Trojans. Kickoff is at 7. Lake Mary's coming off an emotional win over rivals Seminole last week. Meanwhile, Evans is on a 6-game winning streak. We're going to have highlights of this one, plus action from Sanford, College Park, Apopka, and more tonight on News 6 at 11. The second-ranked Miami Hurricanes put their perfect record on the line tonight, not the Orlando Magic. Under the Friday night lights, the Hurricanes kick off against Louisville at 7. It's a great test for the Canes, who come in rested after a bye week. The Cardinals are 4-1. They also had a bye week. Louisville is led by quarterback Miller Moss, a transfer from USC. Cardinals average 36 points per game. Miami counters with Carson Beck, who is in Heisman conversations. The Canes defense, meantime, is top 10, but Mario Cristobal is really impressed by tonight's opponent.
It's as complete of a team as we have faced or will face all year long, both in their play style and in their talent levels. They just play really hard, really fast.
All right, so it's homecoming weekend at UCF. The Knights are hoping to celebrate it with a win over West Virginia tomorrow. Game time is at 1 o'clock at the Bounce House. Quarterback Taven Jackson is going to start at quarterback for the Knights. UCF and West Virginia are both winless in this Big 12 season.
I think we got a good opportunity this week, just like we've had the last 3 weeks, and we need to cash in on one. And I think once we get one here in conference, I think the confidence will blossom.
Florida's homecoming game could be the goodbye Billy Napier game. He's coaching for his job every weekend. If the Gators lose to Mississippi State in the Swamp tomorrow, Napier's chances of surviving this weekend are pretty slim. A USA Today report this week even said Napier could be done win or lose tomorrow. Florida is favored by 9.5. Kickoff is at 4:15. And the Florida State Seminoles are traveling a long way to try to break their 3-game slide. FSU left for the West Coast today. Noles take on Stanford tomorrow night at the brutal time of 10:30 Eastern. The Cardinals, not good though, 2-4. Florida State is 3-3, looking to regain momentum with half of the season left. The Noles are favored by more than 2 touchdowns. All right, the odds makers are predicting the Orlando Magic will win more than 50 games this season, finish top 3 in the Eastern Conference, and contend for the NBA title. Now, that's all a long ways away. Magic just finished up a perfect preseason. They beat the Pelicans last night to go 4-0 in October. Good sign as they await the real deal. That's Wednesday's season opener against Miami. But the Orlando Magic looked pretty good last night.
I think they're going to be pretty
Nice
good
to
this year,
hear that,
Jamie.
yeah.
Thank you. More news coming up on clickorlando.com at 9 o'clock on News 6 Plus.
We will see you then. Until then, have a great night, everybody.